Ever felt like you had that one ex that just will never die? Never will that person would never die in your memory. Like they know family members of yours, they know friends of yours, and so they will always, for some odd reason, be around. Because then you and that person's relationship ended, whatever the fuck it was. Whether it was a friendship, a sexual relationship, a friends with benefits type shit, a casual relationship, whatever the fuck. That shit ended. And so you don't fuck with that person no more. Everyone around you ends up realizing you don't fuck with that person anymore. But then those same people around you still want to fuck with that person. You no longer could be like, nah, if you're my friend, you can't fuck with that person anymore. Like you can no longer give ultimatums. Like it's me or that person type shit. So you let it rock. You know that certain friends and certain family members are gonna pick that person over you, or they're gonna pick that person and not tell you, or they just gonna hang with that person more and just fuck you, forget you, right? I have a situation like that. I have a couple of situations like that with a couple of exes and a couple of friends that I just no longer fuck with. Even my kid's father is included. I don't fuck with that nigga, but my kids are mutual between us, and that's a perfect example. But there will always be those kind of exes that will linger somehow. There's a thread somehow. That's kind of dangerous though, because like that fucks with your trust issues. And so I have that situation actually going on because one of my ex friends, everyone knew that was like my best friend one good time. And I have family members that are messy and nosy. And you know how Facebook operates. Everyone know each other. Everyone want to follow each other then on Instagram, and everyone is Snapchat buddies. I kind of phased out of that phase, and I think I like it that way. Um, but like it's dangerous because at the end of the day, no one is gonna come back to you and be like, "Oh, whatever happened to so and so?" Like, well, I don't see y'all together anymore, or like no one will really ask questions. Why? Because now their mentality is I gotta be friends with this person because I want to be popular or I want to be famous. And that to me is whack. That to me is whack. And I've observed a whole bunch of people like that, and it's scary a little bit because then we not gonna be on Earth for too long. Like, and then like a lot of shit I see on social media is like R.I.P. so and so or R.I.P. Nobody like sends info sheets or nobody like updates anybody on anything. So it's kind of weird to me how people operate, how people won't call themselves friends or whatever the case is. So with this dumbass friend, ex friend of mine, um, we were friends since high school, and the bitch was trifling the whole time. But I liked her company. I liked her energy, as far as like, cause I could be a real introvert. So she was more like she was both. She was an introvert and she was like an extrovert. Is that right? And so I liked her energy as far as how she could make me come out the box. But when I became a mother to my first child, I realized that bitch trifling. And I still forgave her. And I thought she was genuine when she became a mother herself. And so she was around me more. She was at the crib more. We raised our kids together. And one drunken night, we fucked. And I basically ain't seen that bitch since. She pulled up one other time and that was it. Like I guess she felt uncomfortable or I guess she was lying to herself like she wasn't gay type shit. You know how those go. And I think that's wrong. But who you lying to? Yourself? Me? I felt bad. Like, I felt bad because the situation happened at the crib. And it's not like I'm trying to brag or anything. But I'm confused. I'm trying to think, like, what could have went wrong? And it was not like, oh, I let that shit happen so that our friendship could die. I was drunk and horny. And she is the type that she flirts a lot. And I was kind of tired of it. And I wanted to entertain it finally. And she clearly entertained it too. So her disappearance is kind of weird and whack to me. And I gave her space for a couple of years, but then I started inquiring about her through a mutual friend, a friend who I thought was a real friend, but he's just as trifling as the bitch. And before that, I had like I used to put Muslims in a real high pedestal because I thought they were so serious. They strongly believe in their religion and all this and these beliefs and shit. They so full of shit sometimes it's disgusting. So I came to him and I'm like, yo, like, what's up? Let's catch up and all this extra shit. And I also did it with the intentions to find out about her. And because sometimes I'm not even gonna lie, I kept tabs on her on Facebook and Instagram and shit, but I was getting tired of her, like, ew. And he, the thing was, he was gonna find out or give me her number or some shit so I could hit her up and catch up with her. The nigga comes back and tell me that he can't give me her number, that she done moved on type shit. And I'm like, well, that's weird because I thought I was her best friend, and I think the bitch got married and everything because of her last name switched. And I'm like, well, that's just weird, and I'm not about to beg you. Like, this is not kindergarten. This is not. No, we're not doing that. But it's just weird because then you gotta wonder what about shit was real, and then I felt used. The bitch was going through shit with her baby daddy and all these extra people that I have no clue. I don't know who the fuck they are. And basically, through drugs and alcohol, I literally lost my best friend. And she was okay with that. She never kept tabs. Que yo sepa, she never kept tabs on me. She never hit me back up. We did come in contact a little after though, but through Facebook, and the bitch was at a funeral, so that was a dud. Like, it was the worst time to even have a conversation. And when my brother passed away, she was a no-show. She was nowhere near. She was nowhere around. My mother got in contact with her mother, so obviously she ended up knowing about it, and she never gave me my condolences. She never showed up. She's trifling. So situations like that, I'm like, wow. And then sometimes I get like mutual friends of ours that want to follow me and shit. After that situation, I deleted all of my followers. I deleted everyone who I followed. Like, I cleaned up my whole Instagram with the intentions to later on start brand new again. But that shit's been real slow. And on Facebook, I'm wishy-washy. I'll have people up there and then I delete them because I know damn well I don't fuck with them. I want my pages to be a little more personal. I am trying to relaunch an online store that I created. I would love for it to be for everybody, but at the same time, I'm real picky and choosy about who the fuck I want to work with moving forward. My kids are older now. They entering teenage years, so I feel a little weird that she's not involved in that. Because we met when we were teenagers. We went to high school, except I didn't graduate high school. She did because I got pregnant in high school. and I couldn't continue high school because I was having like health not complications, but like I wasn't feeling as mobile as I should have been. The doctor had me on bed rest and shit, and so even then I lost her. She didn't come back around until I gave birth to my oldest son. She wanted to be involved in shit. I'm like, what? Whatever. And then she had a kid, and then I had my other son. And so we basically raised our kids together. But I always thought she was trifling. She never invited me to to her daughter's birthday parties, graduations, nothing. She was just using me to have access to the crib because motherfuckers was kicking her ass out. Her one good time. My brother
So at
couldn't
the end of
stand her.
it,
At
I
one
eventually
point,
got
I thought
tired
she was
too.
fucking
Like,
with my
fuck you.
brother, my little brother. She's
At the
messy.
time,
I used to tell my kid's father little stories
but I
about
do
her,
miss the bitch. And
and that's that. Like, even he agreed I shouldn't be fucking with her. My mother couldn't stand